not prohibit if some animal comes to hear. They also hear sometimes, and we want to give in charity to them. So this saying, Sandashanuchi Bhagavat, or the bowl in the Bhagavat, the newspaper said, gained a new meaning this year. In the year 2004, after 22 years of this Bhagavat recitation there, the people were gathered together and it's set up and they were sitting down getting ready to hear the Bhagavatam. And then suddenly a big bull came into the temple courtyard and he sat down right there amongst the devotees. He's creating a disturbance. So the devotees tried to push him away and he was a little bullish. He didn't want to move and they couldn't do anything with him. He just sat there. And then they were surprised as soon as the recitation finished, the bull got up and walked away. That was the first day. And the second day he came right on time. And he sat down. They couldn't get rid of him again. And the whole recitation of the Bhakti, he sat there. And then when it finished, he got up and left. For 9 days he did that. Everybody was very amazed. And they forgot all about it. Until the next year, in 2005, they again had their recitation of the Bhagavat. And the same bull came. On the first day, at the beginning of the recitation. And he sat down. Nobody could move him. And at the end of the recitation, that day he got up and left. And every day he would come, and every day that he would go. So then in 2006, they were wondering, is this bull going to come again? And there was a newspaper reporter there. And he took a photo of that bull who came every day to hear the Bhagavatam. So this is Vedic culture. It's a culture which is open for all living entities. It's a culture which gives everyone some opportunity to make some progress. In the Uttarakhanda of the Padma Purana, there's a section, the Bhagavat Mahatmya. The glories of the Bhagavatam. There's a very wonderful story, many of you probably know, about the devotee Gokarna, and how he had done a Bhagavat recitation on behalf of his brother Dundubi, who had become a ghost. It's a long story. But the Padma Purana describes that when he finished that recitation, Dundubi became freed from his form as a ghost. And he went to the spiritual world. The Vaikuntha airplane came and took him away. And it's interesting, the Padma Purana notes that although there were many other people there, only Dundubi got liberation. And the question is raised, and why not everyone else? And the answer is given that they weren't listening in a proper way. Yesterday, Bhakti Raghava Maharaj was citing an important thing in Vedic culture. We have to have Shravana Adhikara, the qualification to hear. Ramanujacharya, in his commentary in the Bhagavad Gita, he says there's 3 aspects, which Maharaj touched on yesterday, which constitute Shravana Adhikara, the right to hear. Pranipata, Pariprashna, and Seva. We have to be submissive. We have to inquire in a proper way. And we have to render service. So because they hadn't listened in a proper way, they didn't get the proper result. So then later, Gokarna performed another yajna of the Bhagavatam. Again, he spoke the Bhagavatam. And that time, everyone was very attentive. And the Padma Purana says a very interesting thing. Tad grama ye stita jiva ashra chandala japtaya vimane stapitashte pi Gokarna kripaya tada. That Gokarna kripaya tada, by the mercy of Gokarna, all the living entities in that village, including even the dogs and the dog eaters. And there was a Vaikuntha airplane that came for all of them, including the dogs and the dog eaters. And everyone was given liberation. This is Vedic culture. We see many stories. Yesterday in the Bhagavatam class we heard something about Shivananda Sen's dog. We also see in the Mahabharata how Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he left this world, he also took a dog with him and showed so much mercy on that dog. In the Chaitanya Mangal, Lord Chandras Thakur gives a nice story which we printed in our email magazine, issue 30. And he says that one day, this is around the time when Nimai Pandit Mahaprabhu was about 5 years old. And he was playing with some of his friends and they discovered a group of puppies. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he picked out one puppy And some of his friends became a little unhappy. They said, hey, you took the cutest puppy. That's not fair. And then Nimai said, no, we can all play with this puppy. Come to my house. And just as they were going, Mother Sachi was leaving from the house. He said, very good. Mama's not here now. No one's here in the house. So they took the dog inside the house. And they started playing with the dog. And sometimes they were going outside and they were rolling in the dust with the dog. And at one point, the boys started quarreling. Boys do. Even Nimai Pandit is quarreling with his friends. And one of them said, this is not fair. You picked out the best dog. You're always doing like this. And they had some quarrel. And that boy became angry and left. And he ran down to the bank of the Ganga. And he went to Sachimata. And he said, you know what your boy is doing? He's playing with the dog, the puppy. You go and see for yourself. Sachimata became very unhappy. And she came back and she saw it was true. There was a Nimai with a little puppy dog on his lap. And she began to chastise him. What are you doing? You're the son of a Brahmin, Jagannath Mishra. Why are you taking this very low-class animal, this dog like this? And Nimai said, but Mata, he's very beautiful. I like him. His mother said, you can't have a dog. No, I like him very much. And then Sachimata, she was very intelligent. She said, anyway, you tie your dog up here and go take a bath in the Ganga with your friends. You can play in the water. And Nimai said, very good. So, and Sachimata said, I'll watch your dog. Don't worry. I'll watch your puppy. And Nimai went to take a bath in the Ganga. And while he was gone, Sachimata, she said, anyway, I'll tell him that I don't know what happened to him. He just ran away. And she untied the dog. And the dog left. And when Nimai came back, he was looking for the dog. And one of his friends told him, your Mata untied the dog. And Nimai Pandit became very, very unhappy with his mother. Why you did like that? That's very bad. I love that dog. It's not good. And Lochadas Thakur, he says how amazing it is that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was kind to that dog. And he gives a very beautiful description of what happened after that. I'll sing this in Bengali, and you can chant Hare Krishna in response, please. Gauranga parase kukur, bhagyavan, swabhavan chadiyata, hoila divya gyan bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Bhagyavan. By the touch of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that kukur, that dog became Bhagyavan, became very, very fortunate. And Subhava Chadiya, it gave up its dog's nature. And Taro Hoila Dibya Gyan, that dog became full of transcendental knowledge. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then something happened to that dog. Radha Krishna Govinda Boliya Dake Nache Nadiyara Loka Deki Sabagaya Pache Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. I don't know how it was possible, but Lochandas Thakur says that dog started running around and started calling out, Radha Krishna Govinda Boliya Naki Nachi, and began dancing like anything. Bhakti Sripnavana Maharaj told me once that he has his temple in the base of Radhakund, and that there was a dog living there at Radhakund, and he used to come and offer obeisances and put his head on the feet of the devotees. He was a very special dog. So Nadiyara Loka Deki Sabadhaya Pachi. Everybody in Nadia, the word quickly spread. Did you hear there's a dog chanting Hare Krishna? And everybody came to see this dog who was chanting Hare Krishna and dancing. Kukura albesha amon sabe deki pulankita saba anga ashumoya anki bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 As everybody was standing there watching, that dog, Kukura Abesha Emona Shabadeki, Pulakita Shaba Anga, Ashramoya Angi. He exhibited on all the different limbs of his body various symptoms of divine ecstasy. An amazing thing. I don't have such good fortune. He's a dog. And he's crying. And the body's shivering, his goosebumps coming on the dog. The dog's hairs are standing on him. He's rolling on the ground and chanting Radha Krishna, Govinda. And everybody was sitting there. And then at that time, Achanvite Swanadeha Chari Bhagyavan Krishna Loka Haina Kore Goloke Payan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. At that time, Anchanvite Swanadeha Chari, that soul, the body of that dog, suddenly gave up his body. And Krishna Loke Hanya Kore Goloke Payan. Suddenly a Vaikuntha airplane came. And that dog chanting Radha Krishna Govinda Govinda. The soul of that dog, no longer a dog, got on that divine chariot and went back to the spiritual world. And Lochan Das Thakur says a very amazing thing happened at that time. That all the demigods, they all came. And the demigods began to offer prayers to the Lord. Jaya Jaya Kripa Sindhu Satchidanandan. All glories to that ocean of mercy, the son of Mother Sachi. Emona Karuna Prabhu Kaile Katan. You're giving mercy to a dog. Why don't you give mercy to us? The demigods. Kukura Udhara Kori Golo Ke Patai. Dibya Deha Hena Kabu Keha Nahi Pai. You delivered a dog. You gave this dog a spiritual body. And took him to Goloka Vrindavan. Dibya Deha Hena Kabu Keho Nahi Pai. Why don't you do the same thing for us? Jaya Jaya Avatara Gati Gora Hari. Jaya Jaya Avatara Sabhara Upari. All glories to Gora Hari. That personality who's Avatara Gati, who gives shelter to persons who have no shelter. Jaya Jaya Avatara Sabhara Upari. He's the best of all the avatars. Tora Kurunaya Kali Jiva Nishariva Arakiva Lila Tora Alokika Hubam. By your mercy, all the souls who are living in Kali Yuga will be delivered. Such amazing pastimes you're doing. Mura Sabha Deva Kabir Habi Bhagyavan Pai Vitomara Pada Parasara Pradan. When will we get your prasad? When will we get your mercy? When will we become Bhagyavan or fortunate? Kukura Toriya Jai Tomara Parasi Emona Karuna Kabu Nahi Rishikeshi. You touched this dog and you delivered a dog. Even as Krishna. We never heard about Krishna playing with dogs or delivering a dog. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're so wonderfully munificent, wonderfully merciful, wonderfully magnanimous. Kaviraj Goswami says 3 times. He's the most amazing, merciful Lord. You delivered even a dog. Kavi mora hoibe emona bhagya babagi. Kukure kritarta koile tai mora magi. When will that day come when we're fortunate? You gave perfection to a dog. And we pray that we can get the same kind of mercy as that dog. When will that day come to us? We worship the sun by offering a lamp to the sun. We worship the Ganga by offering Ganga Jal. And we worship that personality, Adoshadarshi Mora Prabhu Nityananda. That Nityananda Prabhu and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we worship them by ourselves being Adoshadarshi. We worship that Mahavadanyaya avatar, that most merciful incarnation of the Lord, by ourselves becoming merciful. Sometimes we've seen that Vaishnavas, I don't like to use the word traditional Vaishnavas, especially Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because Gaudiyas are really not traditional. They're very extraordinary in every way. but for lack of a better word, what you might call traditional Gaudiya Vaishnavas in India who grew up in that culture, sometimes they're a little surprised to see Srila Prabhupada's dancing white elephants. And sometimes they say things like, wait a minute, dancing white elephants, you're not supposed to wear shoes. Elephants are not supposed to wear shoes in the kirtan. They'll say things like that because they can't understand and appreciate the magnanimity, the wonderful mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes they say, you Westerners, what kind of preaching can you do? You don't know Bengali, you don't know Sanskrit, you don't know Vaishnava Siddhanta properly, you don't know Vaishnava culture. What kind of preaching can you do? But Srila Prabhupada sent all the devotees out. On the first day, I was telling a story to someone, I think yesterday, before I joined this movement, I was living in a cave. I'm a caveman. I was living in a cave on Mount Lemmon in Arizona. And I was chanting Hare Krishna. I'd met the devotees before. I was a vegetarian. I was trying to chant 16 rounds and living in my cave. And I stayed there for some weeks. It was really boring. And after some time I decided, man, forget it, I want to go meet the devotees. So I went down to the nearest town, which happened to be Tucson, Arizona. And at that time there was no temple there. And I knew that. And I was speaking to someone on the street. And I was saying, you know, those Hare Krishna people, they're really good. I really like them. And this man said, you know, Hare Krishna devotees were just here yesterday at the university. But they left. I said, oh, that's really very sad. He said, but don't worry, there's a sitar concert tonight. A free sitar concert at the university. So I thought, that's cool, I'll go to that. So I went and I found that he was wrong. The devotees were still there. They had a Festival of India booth set up. And all the devotees were wearing hats and jeans and dressed as non-devotees. And they had some displays about reincarnation and vegetarianism, and they were low profile. Right? And I went up to them and I said, I know who you guys are. You guys are Hare Krishnas, aren't you? And they gave me, much to my happiness, a big plate of prasadam. And they were getting ready to pack up. Madhua Prabhu and Charu Prabhu, Krishna Pratap. At that time, Charu Prabhu came over to me just before they were leaving, and he brought me this big box of Bhagavad Gitas. And he said, here, go sell these. I was a caveman. Down in the middle of my back, I hadn't, when last time I bathed, I wasn't the cleanest creature in the world. I didn't know Bhagavad Gita or Vaishnava Siddhanta. They gave me that box of books. I said, okay. And I went and I started stopping students saying, did you get one of these? We have this book, please take this book. And I tried to sell that. This is Srila Prabhupada's movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's said that Uttama Adama Kichana Bachila Jachya Dileka Kol. The poet Premananda Das, he sings that although Mahaprabhu, he doesn't consider who's Uttam, who's Adam. Kichana Bachila. He freely gives mercy to everyone. And that's this movement. Although we're not qualified. From the first day, we're being told, go out and distribute this mercy. But then we may say, but I'm not qualified to do that. How will I distribute this properly? He may make a mistake. If you give a box of Bhagavad Gitas to some crazy person who's living in a cave and tell him to go and sell them, he may say something wrong. It's not maybe. It's definitely. He'll definitely say something wrong. Of course he will. But still, some benefit will be there. Benefit will be there for the persons who may take that book. Benefit will be there for the persons who just see him with the book. Prabhupada said. Benefit will be there for the person, that caveman, who's trying to distribute the book. And so Srila Prabhupada, he's jump-started our movement. We have no adhikar, we have no qualification. But immediately he said, you go and you distribute this thing. You be some instrument. Because by doing that, we can attract the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a very, very amazing way. I'll just read you a short excerpt from the purport of Srila Prabhupada, which definitely exhibits and displays the amazing quality of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 13. He says that one should understand that all the devotees in this Krishna consciousness movement who are dedicated to distributing the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said they're already Nitya Siddha. They're already eternal associates of the Lord. Because this movement right now is Gaura Lila. And Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says that, Krishna, do you remember? First word? Chaitanya Bhagavad. He says a number of times in Chaitanya Bhagavat that this Gaura Lila is going on right now. Adyapiha Chaitanya e Sabalila Kori, Japani Jahari Kori, Drishtiyadi Kori. Adyapiha right now, right here. In this place, Gaura Lila is going on. The Panchatattva are here. The devotees are chanting the Maha Mantra. They're serving Srila Prabhupada. They're serving the devotees in disciplic succession. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And Mahaprabhu is present here today. So if we want to take part in this movement, we have to try to imbibe that mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I know we're about finished our time, but I'd like to just share a couple verses with you from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Anjalila chapter 3. Pramad, Pranamed, Dandavat, Bhumo, Ashwachandala Gokaram, Pravishto Jiva Kalaya, Tatraiva Bhagavan Iti. That realizing that the Supreme Lord is in everyone's body as a super soul. Pranamed, Dandavat, Bhumav. We should fall down to the ground and offer obeisances to everyone, even to the dogs, the outcasts, the cows, and the asses, falling flat on the ground like a rod. In chapter 20 of Anjalila, Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Brahmanari kukura chandala anta kori dandavat kori bheka bahu manya kori. You should offer full dandavats to all living entities, including the Brahmins, including the dogs, including the dog eaters. This is Vaishnavism. Uttamahana Vaishnava haki nira abhiman, jivi samana divi jani Krishna adhistan. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he has no pride, nirabhiman. And he gives respect, jivi samana divi jani Krishna adhistan, to everyone, because he knows that Krishna is in the bodies of everyone. And one of my favorite verses, Aise Vaishnava Dharma Sabare Pranati, Se Dharma Dvajija Ite Nahi Rati. He says that the nature of a Vaishnava, Aise Vaishnava Dharma, this is Vaishnava Dharma. Dharma doesn't mean only religion, it means the nature or the intrinsic quality of something. Aise Vaishnava Dharma, this is the nature of a Vaishnava. What is the nature? Sabare Pranati. They give respects to everyone, to all the devotees. Maybe they're initiated by a different guru, maybe they're from a different city, maybe they're from a different country. I give my respect. Maybe they're Gaudiya Math devotees or Babaji devotees. Maybe they're Christians, maybe they're Muslims, maybe they're cows, maybe they're dogs. But a Vaishnava, the nature of a Vaishnava is Sabare Pranati. They give respect to everyone. And they give mercy to everyone. This is generosity. Say dharmadvajija iti nahirati. But there's another class of persons, Vrindavan Das Thakur calls them dharmadvaji. Dvaji means a flag. And this is a person who has a different kind of dharma. Their dharma is to wave a flag, to show everybody that I'm a religious person. They dress up like a devotee. They advertise themselves as being a great devotee. But they're not really a devotee. Say dharmadvajija iti nahirati. And they have no taste for giving respect to other persons like this. They have no respect to giving respect to other, no taste for giving respect to animals and other creatures like this. So we should understand this is our movement. And Srila Prabhupada said, we give respect also to the animals. We give them prasadam, and we give them some opportunity to hear, because we want to give everyone some opportunity to get this mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you criticize other people, then you're working for someone else. You're working for someone whose name is Chitragupta. You may have heard of him before. He works for Yamaraj, and he has a book. And he writes down every little thing that people do. Eating prasadam in the bathroom. This one, offered obeisances with only one hand. This one here criticized this person. This one here was picking his nose in front of the deities. Oh my God. And they make notes on all that kind of person. So if you follow in that line of being a fault finder, then you're working for Yamaraj. You're working for his court. But for those persons who, Adosha Darshi Moda Prabhu Nityananda, who worship Lord Nityananda, who's Adosha Darshi, who doesn't see fault, they also don't see fault. That's the nature. If you're going to worship the sun, you worship with a lamp. If you're going to worship the Ganga, you worship with Ganga Jal. If we want to worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have to be forgiving. We have to overlook the faults of others. He's a dog. No, dog is also a very special personality. Let me give some prasadam to him. Let me make him happy. Let me give some respect to him. Let me take care of the cows. Let me take care of the animals. Let me give respect to all living entities. And if we give respect like that to everyone, then you're working in a different court for a different judge. You're working for the judge of Nityananda Prabhu. I'm afraid to work for the court of Yamaraj. Because if I work for that court, I'll be judged in the same court. And therefore, the author Krishna Das, who sings this nice song, Dosha Darshi Moda Prabhu Nityananda, he says, Moda Prabhu, he's my Prabhu. Because he's the only hope that I have. Because he's a Dosha Darshi, he doesn't see fault. So I also should come to that point. And then I can really begin to practice bhakti. Why is it a dog is getting Asasatyakara bhav? He's exhibiting all symptoms of ecstasy, and I don't. The dog is more fortunate than me. The dog is he's more elevated than me. Let me give respect to him. Somehow or other, let me come to this point where I can really get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And let me try to give that to others, which comes by giving respect to everyone. So we'll stop there and we'll come over. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki, Premanandi. So, I'm really late, but very sorry, Prabhu has a comment or something?
I had one question about the apparent contradiction in this verse and the other verse in the 7th canto, which says that even a savage person becomes happy to see a scorpion or a snake killed. This one says just the opposite, so...
Somehow I was thinking somebody was going to ask that question. The Bhagavatam says that we should treat the flies just as nicely as we do our children. And we should treat the snakes just as nicely. But the Bhagavatam also says, same canto, that a saintly person is happy when he sees an envious creature like a snake or something killed. My understanding of that is Vedic culture is a very subtle culture. In Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one place, he says that subtle discrimination is extremely important for Vaishnavas. So there's many things that we can say in this subject. It's not a black and white subject. I'll give you an example. We could say that poisonous snakes should be killed. And non-poisonous snakes are not killed because non-poisonous snakes are doing some useful things. They're catching mice and that. You may know in India there's a caste of people who capture snakes and they play some song. They're traditionally worshippers of Krishna, devotees of Krishna. They worship Kali Naga, worship Krishna who defeated Kali. And but when they come to drive a cobra out, they don't kill that cobra. They give respect to it. And we see in Vedic culture, it's considered auspicious to see a cobra. If it bites you, maybe that's not so auspicious. But it's considered to be auspicious to see a cobra like that. We should offer obeisances to it. So how do we understand these two distinctions? I would suggest that if that snake is coming, is a threat, is going to hurt me, and certainly if a cobra is in your house, that's definitely a threat. Once in our home in Bhubaneswar, we had a little snake come in our house. It's about this big. About as big around as my little finger. I can't remember the Oriya name for them. It translates to three-step. They call it three